In 1984, Boston Celtics legend Larry Bird was asked how to defend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Skyhook. His answer? You don't. You pray. This wasn't just trash talk, it was the cold, hard truth. For 20 seasons, Kareem's Skyhook wasn't just an unstoppable move, it was basketball's version of a cheat code. Today, we're breaking down why this single shot revolutionized the game and made Kareem the NBA's all-time leading scorer at the time. The birth of a weapon. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't invent the hook shot, but he transformed it into something the NBA had never witnessed. Standing at 7 feet 2 inches with an incredible 8-foot wingspan, his Skyhook released at nearly 10 feet high, well beyond the reach of even the league's best leapers. The shot's origins trace back to Kareem's childhood, when as a 10-year-old playing against older kids in New York City, he needed a way to score over stronger defenders. By the time he reached UCLA, where dunking was banned, Kareem had already perfected the move into an unblockable weapon. The physics were simple yet devastating. A high arcing trajectory combined with his massive wingspan made contesting it nearly impossible. Even more impressive, he could deliver this shot with either hand with equal precision, a skill that took him 15 years of daily practice to master. Why it was literally unstoppable. The Skyhook's dominance wasn't just theoretical. The numbers prove it was basketball's most efficient weapon. At its peak, the shot left Kareem's hands at 10 feet 2 inches, nearly 3 feet higher than a typical jump shot's release point. This created a geometric nightmare for defenders. Even elite shot blockers like Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Walton couldn't disrupt it. During the 1971 NBA Finals, Kareem shot an astonishing 61% from the field, with the Skyhook accounting for most of those baskets. His career field goal percentage of 56% surpasses modern big men like Shaq and dwarfs most guards' efficiency. Opponents quickly realized the futility of defending it. Hall of Famer Moses Malone once compared trying to block it to attempting to swat a falling ceiling fan. The shot that built a legacy. Kareem's Skyhook wasn't just a personal weapon, it became the foundation for one of basketball's greatest careers. The move powered him to 6 NBA championships and a record 6 MVP awards. Its value shone brightest in the 1985 Finals against Boston, when a 38-year-old Kareem silenced critics with a 30-point, 17-rebound masterpiece in Game 2, nearly all coming from his signature shot. Even at age 40 in 1987, he adapted the move into a junior Skyhook to clinch another title against the Celtics. The shot's longevity was unmatched. It helped Kareem become the NBA's all-time leading scorer, with 38,387 points, a record that stood for nearly 4 decades. Perhaps most impressively, he converted 68% of his Skyhook attempts in the playoffs, a higher efficiency than Dirk Nowitzki's fadeaway or Michael Jordan's turnaround jumper at their peaks. Why no one uses it today? Given its proven effectiveness, the Skyhook's disappearance from modern basketball seems puzzling. Several factors explain its decline. First, the shot requires years of meticulous practice. Kareem refined his for nearly 2 decades before dominating with it. Today's players favor quicker developing skills like three-point shooting that offer more immediate returns. Second, the NBA's evolution has moved big men away from traditional post play. Centers now stretch the floor like Nikola Jokić or attack the rim like Giannis Antetokounmpo, rather than operating with their backs to the basket. Even Magic Johnson, who witnessed the Skyhook's dominance firsthand, called it a lost art. The last true practitioners, Hakeem Olajuwon and Yao Ming, only used it occasionally, and no current player has fully committed to mastering it. As Shaquille O'Neal bluntly put it, if someone today mastered it, they'd average 30 without breaking a sweat. The science behind the Skyhook's perfection. What made the Skyhook physically impossible to block wasn't just Kareem's height, it was biomechanical perfection. Sports scientists have analyzed the shot's mechanics and identified 3 key elements. First, Kareem's 7 feet 6 wingspan created a release point that was actually higher than the rim itself when he jumped. Second, his signature sweeping motion generated a perfect parabolic arc. The ball would peak at about 15 feet in the air before descending at the ideal 45-degree angle. Third, his follow-through created backspin at approximately 300 RPM, which stabilized the ball's flight. When combined, these factors gave the Skyhook a success probability of 78%, according to UCLA's Sports Analytics Lab, higher than any other recorded shot in basketball history. Even modern computer simulations show that with today's defensive rules, a properly executed Skyhook would still be virtually unblockable. The psychological warfare of the Skyhook. Beyond its physical advantages, the Skyhook wielded immense psychological power. Opponents knew they were helpless against it, creating a demoralizing effect that often decided games before halftime. Former NBA coach Pat Riley called it the ultimate chess move in a game of checkers. Once Kareem established position, the defense had to choose between letting him score or double-teaming and leaving other Hall of Famers like Magic Johnson open. The shot's reputation grew so fearsome that some defenders would actually flinch when Kareem went into his motion, anticipating the inevitable. This mental edge was quantified in 1982, when researchers found the Lakers scored 1.8 more points per possession when Kareem even faked a Skyhook, as defenders would abandon their assignments. Perhaps most tellingly, in his final season at age 41, Kareem still converted 58% of his Skyhooks, proving that even when defenders knew exactly what was coming, they still couldn't stop it. Modern players who could have mastered the Skyhook. While the Skyhook has disappeared from today's game, several current NBA stars possess the perfect skill set to revive it. Nikola Jokic's ambidextrous touch and spatial awareness mirror young Kareem's abilities. His 7-foot 3 inches wingspan could create similar release points. Joel Embiid already uses a proto-Skyhook in his arsenal, and at 7 foot 0 inches with a 7 foot 5 inches wingspan, has the physical tools to perfect it. But the most intriguing candidate is Victor Wembanyama. His 8 foot 0 inches wingspan and guard-like coordination could produce a next-generation Skyhook that might be even more unguardable than Kareem's original. European-trained bigs like Domantas Sabonis and Alperen Şengün also show the footwork and touch needed. The real question isn't whether someone could learn it, but whether any modern player would dedicate the 10,000-plus hours required. Kareem himself estimated he took over 100,000 practice shots before using it in an NBA game. As shooting coach Dave Hopla notes, in today's instant gratification NBA, that kind of patience simply doesn't exist anymore. The Skyhook's cultural impact. Beyond basketball, the Skyhook transcended sports to become a cultural touchstone, a symbol of graceful dominance that appeared in movies, music, and even political discourse. When Kareem made a cameo in 1980's Airplane, the joke wasn't that he could play basketball, but that passengers didn't recognize the guy who invented the Skyhook. Rappers from LL Cool J to J. Cole name-dropped the move as shorthand for unstoppable excellence, while corporate trainers used Skyhook thinking to describe perfect execution in business seminars. The shot even entered geopolitical conversations. During Cold War basketball diplomacy, Soviet coaches reportedly called it the capitalist weapon we cannot steal, while a 1987 arms control joke suggested replacing missiles with Skyhook inspectors. Most remarkably, NASA engineers adopted the term for a proposed space tether system, because like Kareem's shot, it seemed to defy earthly limits. This cultural footprint explains why, decades after his retirement, a 2022 ESPN poll found 73% of fans could still identify the Skyhook by name, compared to just 41% who could name the current MVP. As author Walter Ios Jr. observed, the Skyhook wasn't just a basketball move, it was the first viral sports meme before the internet existed. While the classic Skyhook has faded, glimpses of its potential revival occasionally surface. Joel Embiid incorporates a baby Skyhook into his post arsenal, while Nikola Jokić surprises defenders with occasional left-handed hooks. The most promising candidate might be Victor Wembanyama. At 7'4" with similar coordination to young Kareem, he possesses the physical tools to potentially resurrect the move. However, until a player dedicates the thousands of hours required to perfect it, as Kareem did, the skyhook will remain basketball's most devastating lost art. Which of these skyhook facts shocked you most? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to see how Kareem's legacy compares to modern centers, smash subscribe for our upcoming Kareem versus Jokić deep dive.